Alright, we're in the Monster Marsh tournament. We're in Monday's practice round. Let's call it what it is today. This is definitely a pure practice round. I'm not trying to qualify today. I just want to go out on some of these holes, and a bunch of the holes that are in this tournament are pretty well set. I know exactly what I want to do on them, but there's several of the holes, especially the par 4s, where I want to go out and see what's involved with some of the more risky shots, trying to pick up something. So let's go to Golf Clash Notebook. So hole number 1 in the Monster Marsh is going to be hole number 2 in Sunshine Glades. And with my lower level account, so I played all of the shootouts today and trying to do it. I'm in this area right here, and so normally I like to pick a spot. So I started off the very first time, blue rings all the way around and going straight at the hole with about 2 backspin. And what I found was the first thing I'm always concerned about is distance, and then I start worrying about other stuff. And so what I found was that 2 backspin was a little short, so I went to 1.5, and that seemed to be about the right thing. It put me right at cup length. So as far as distance goes, 1.5 was fine. What I also found was that I'd like to shoot this with a navigator, so that I can cut the wind down just a little bit. And what I found was if I had my blue rings off, my ball guy was going out here to the right, even with the max side spin that I have with a navigator, which isn't a lot. So what, 2.5 bars, somewhere in that neighborhood, that I was going to come out to the right. So my choices would be to switch to a quasar so that I can get more curl, or excuse me, more side spin to bring me towards the hole and maintain my distance. Or, because I'm not using any curl, I could come in here. So what I started doing was I started putting my orange ring here and my blue ring up here, so I kind of had a setup, and that put me more towards the cup. So that worked out. So I've got my distance, and now I've got my trajectory. So now what I need to start working on is hitting perfect shots so that I can adjust for wind. So I like my distance. I've got that stuff worked out, but what I'm going to do with these upper developed clubs is I'm going to start off over on this side with a Guardian and try and go right at it. So my first goal, once again, is distance. I'm not so concerned about hitting great to the left or the right, or ending up out here. Even if I hit a great to the left or the right and I don't hit perfect shot, I'm still worried on my arc as far as like I want to be right by the cup. I want it so that if it was either sucking it back towards the cup with the backspin, I'm right at the cup. Or if it's dribbling towards the cup, I want it to end up right at the cup. So distance is my key thing today. So I'm going to take a Guardian and a navigator. Guardian and a navigator. And off we go. Trying to get it in the hole. So my Guardian hits 1.2 per ring at max club, and I'm at minimum club. So my notes from playing this hole in the past showed the 1.2. So if I use a 1.2 wind adjustment instead of the 1.7, that's actually an overpull. So that means I'm adjusting for the wind just in my setup here. So max backspin, no side spin. That's a variable that I don't really want to put in there. So normally I would put this bounce right here, the second bounce in, and then it would draw it back to the hole. But I'm going to split the difference between the two. And I want to get right on the cup. And then it's 3-3, so there's 3-6, so it's about 2 3/4 rings. And that's just a full wind adjustment. Really right now I'm just worried about distance. Hitting it perfect. And so I'm not getting enough pullback where I was in between those, the second and the third bounce. So I'm going to need to put my third bounce right on the cup. But as far as like left and right, as far as like wind adjustment, it looked like it was pretty close. So I'm going to continue to work distance the next time I get this hole. And I won't be playing shootouts in this account because I don't want to waste any of those hole-in-ones. I want to creep up. I want to continue to work on this hole throughout the round so that on that 4th or 5th time that I get this hole in a tournament, I'm in the cup. So ideally, every time I get on this hole, every time I get on any of these par 3s, I want to hit that shot perfect, because then I can really see about distance, and then I can also see if I'm off of my wind trajectory. But perfect shot is not as important as making sure that I got the distance right to start off with. But there's definitely not enough draw back towards the hole for me to start off in that spot. So I'm going to have to come back a little closer to the tee box. Hitting it perfect. No! Birdie. The key is that on every par 3 and every single tournament, you need to get a birdie. At a minimum. You want to go for hole-in-one. You want to give yourself an opportunity for hole-in-one, but the whole goal when you go to a par 3 is to get a birdie. On these par 4s and these par 5s, you know, if you pick up an eagle or you pick up an albie, that's picking something up. And if you don't pick up that eagle or you don't pick up that albie, you move on to the next hole. You gave yourself an opportunity. But on these par 3s, you want to give yourself a look at hole-in-one, but if you get a par, you can't recover from that. That's brutal. And I don't know why I didn't miss that putt. Since I'm not going to qualify today, I should have missed that putt. It would have helped me out. Over exuberance. Forgot what I was doing. All right, that was hole number 1 of the Monster Marsh tournament in Monday's practice round of the rookie division. Thanks for watching.